I am boiling hot right now, What Culture, because we have just experienced the hottest event of the summer, known as SummerSlam, or Super Slam. Remember that time that dude called it Super Slam? Because WWE sometimes get people onto the show that know absolutely nothing about pro wrestling. Thankfully, nothing like that happened during SummerSlam 2018, apart from the fact WWE only went and exceeded expectations. I thought this was a really good show, especially because if you go back and watch my predictions video, I believe I got 10 out of 13. Yeah, there's a couple of provisos in there, like, with Samoa Joe, but we'll get to that. Either way, SummerSlam 2018 in the books. You're watching me, Simon Miller, here on What Culture. What to do. Let's up those downs. Before we get into things properly, you may have noticed in the Brock Lesnar Roman Reigns promo video, there was a little sign front and center at one point, and yeah, it was a sign for ups and downs. That gets it up. Also, thank you to everybody that does bring a sign. It blows my brain every time, and maybe this is a bit of foreshadowing into the future. Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, Simon Miller. If you take all of that and put it together and we became a team, we could be Broom or Broom. Doesn't work. Moving on. Moving into the pre-show though, and we have to start by giving a down because it was indeed Andrade Cien Almas and Zelina Vega taking on Rusev and Lana, and the former beat the latter like they were a pair of tomato cans, and I hate tomatoes. Down. Kind of basic this, with the real story coming before the match when Rusev told Aiden English, "You don't need to get involved here, pal. This is nothing to do with you. Stay in the back." And he did, and Rusev, they still lost. There was some shenanigans in the sense that when Vega did indeed roll Lana up, she put her feet on the ropes, bad guys taking advantage, cheating to win. But come on, Rusev went all the way from the WWE title picture to opening SummerSlam on the pre-show. If that doesn't hurt your soul, if that doesn't hurt your gut, if that doesn't hurt your heart, you ain't human, man. I'm going to cry right now, right? If I could cry, I lost the ability to cry in 1776, but if I didn't, I'd be crying right now. But I'm up for Cedric Alexander versus Drew Gulak. Yeah, up. It was nothing super duper amazing, but it was pretty damn good, and both guys were allowed to get their stuff in. Cedric got the win after a surprise cradle on Gulak, and that was a bit weird, because I was like, wait a minute. That was the exact same finish of the last match. But before they got to that stage, they'd done all these cool reversals, so that made it okay again. Also, that Spanish fly that Alexander does. Booyah. Another up for the B team winning, as it meant the pre-show was coming to a close, and in my predictions, I was 3 for 3. That makes me pleased, but either way, yeah, B team retained their titles, I'm alright with that. Up. As ever, this was built around the idea that Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas can't actually win a match unless it's by fluke, so yes, once again, it was a fluke here, and I will say this, it's fun for now, and this was fun too, but WWE, you cannot do this forever. Eventually, it's going to run its course, and the people will turn on the B team. The Revival were pretty much in control the entire time, but then yeah, Axel accidentally fell onto some bodies or something. He got the win, and that was that. We put a line under the pre-show, we'll never see that again, it's in the past. We get to the big guns. And that was Seth Rollins and Dolph Ziggler opening up the pay-per-view, and that was a magnitude of loveliness. Don't know what that means. Up. In true, I do believe we're wrestlers and we know what we're doing, thank you very much, fashion, Ziggler and Rollins started off slowly but then built to a crescendo in order to get the fans more invested in their bigger moves. That's exactly what they did, and I like this. Mostly because, yeah, that is what wrestling is. You start slow and you build, the graph goes that way and everybody's happy. The real nonsense was happening outside as Drew McIntyre and Dean Ambrose kept getting involved for their respective corners, and that must have wound up Seth Rollins and Dolph Ziggler no end, because it's basically like they were the parents of these two idiots that kept running amok. Like, if you were a wrestler and this wasn't predetermined, you wouldn't want them out there. You'd be like, would you guys shut up? Daddy's trying to work. Anyway, it did finish after kid number 2, Dean Ambrose, hit kid number 1, Drew McIntyre, with a DDT on the outside of the ring, and that allowed Papa Seth to hit the curb stomp. 1, 2, 3, we've got a new Intercontinental Champion. This was just a very good contest, and yet it was the perfect way to welcome us to SummerSlam. I sat there and I was like, I'm ready. I'm ready for like 6 hours of joy. But it was joy. A Bella Twins promo followed, so they're back, and there were a lot of hints here that yes, at the Evolution pay-per-view, it just may be Ronda Rousey versus Nikki Bella. You do with that whatever you want to do about it. Now, I'll give it an up because we don't judge here on ups and downs. We always give things benefit of the doubt, but definitely keep one eyebrow cocked because it's going to be interesting. Then the Bludgeon Brothers had a kick-ass match with the New Day up. This was a genuine treat with both times using the time they had perfectly, and by that what I mean is they didn't have much time, so it was all out action from ring bell to the time the damn thing was finished. Xavier Woods even hit an elbow drop onto the floor, and that must have hurt like hell. It hurt me. I didn't even do it. Big E and Xavier had it won, or so it seemed, because then Eric Rowan remembered, oh yeah, wait, I've got a massive mallet, a massive hammer on the outside. Why don't I get it and just hit a bunch of dudes? That's what he did, and the Blood Brothers got DQ'd, but they retained their titles. Now that gets it down for everything we're about to get into in a minute or so, but still, this was good, very good. And also, thank you to Xavier Woods. He tweeted me, and he congratulated me on becoming a wrestler. Think of that. What a weekend I've had. Brilliant. And then, it happened. I said this would happen in my predictions. I used my brain, and I worked it out, so boo me, boo, boo, because I'm part of the problem. However, with all that said, Braun Strowman versus Kevin Owens is getting up. A small part of me did want to give this a down, but I can't because I would become a hypocrite. I can't come on these videos and whine and moan that, oh, WWE does 50-50 booking all the time. Sometimes they should just pick a guy and let him run riot, and that's what they did here. It just sucks that it meant Kevin Owens had to be used as collateral. But all that happened here is that Kevin Owens came out, Braun Strowman came out, and then KO bumped his ass off for the Monster, who won in around about 2 minutes. This was the definition of a squash match. Braun Strowman now looks really strong, which is what you want from your guy with the briefcase. And given what happened at the end of the night, which we'll get to, you can't say that this didn't tick all the boxes. If I could, I would draw boxes in the air right now, and automatically you get a pen from like Magic Place, and you start ticking them. I'm just a fan of Kevin Owens, so I always want to see him fly, but we'll wait and see what happens on Monday Night Raw. But if that was too much and he didn't get it, yes. Braun Strowman retains the Money in the Bank briefcase by beating Kevin Owens in around about, I don't know, 110 seconds, 115 seconds. It was very short. Which brings us to Becky Lynch versus Carmella versus Charlotte for the SmackDown Women's title. And before all this, I'd expressed a lot of concern, a lot of worry that WWE were thinking about turning Becky Lynch heel, and that would be crazy because she's just so damn like